Good evening. Welcome to an episode of the Gooner Booth. We are reacting to the Arsenal game. Arsenal 2, West Ham nil. Good evening, Wayne. What was your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, good evening, matey. Yeah, it was. It's one of those total control games, matey, wasn't it? I think they come out the traps, and it was a bit worrying about the wind. It seemed to obviously we kind of got control of it. That first sort of corner that West Ham had, they literally just 17 seconds in, won a corner. You're sitting there, oh, hang on a minute, you know.
It, yeah,
And they hit that. Raya missed it, and then there was a chance, and then after that, we kind of got control. I thought one thing I want to say in terms of we're not here to big up other teams and other players when we play them, but like I said about Olympiacos, I think that Mavropanos, who's an ex-Arsenal player, I thought if it weren't for him, I think we could have had a field day today. I think West Ham fans should be praising that guy because I think he had a good game at the back for him in terms of the fact that that scoreline is only two-tone as
yeah,
opposed to being 4, 5, or 6. Max Kilman, I don't rate at all, but Mavropanos, when he comes up against us, he scored in the game a couple of years back. Every time he plays us, he's got a point to prove, and he plays well. And today, again, obviously, he's not on the winning side. I'm just making a point.
yeah.
It was one of them games where he's chucking everything in. He's intercept him. He was out muscling at times. Gyökeres, in terms of having a very good battle, by the way. Gyökeres was giving it back. But yeah, listen, mate, it was a standard one. Could have been more. It was the win at the end of the day. I don't think West Ham offered anything to him. Would you say that?
No, no. And I was looking at the stats before we went live, right?
Mm,
I was right in my preview. We'd have
it was.
70-30. So they 68 versus their 32%. So we
Yeah.
we had the ball most of the game. We knew what they was going to do. They sat in. Um, Total shots 21 to their 4, 5
Mm,
on target versus none. They had no shots on target.
no.
Um, yeah, they're 3 corners, which the first one we got away with a little bit. The wind helped them out there. They could have easily
No.
have gone 1-0 up, and that would have been a
Yeah,
completely different game. So,
it would have done.
um, but yeah, I think we dominated. We knew we'd have the ball. But I was quite shocked really with West Ham. I thought they would come out and try and be a bit more offensive.
Yeah.
But they was I don't I think that was down to us as well. I think for what we'll get on to the formation, but we just locked them out. One
Mm,
thing we wanted to do was isolate Bowen and their attacking threat, and I don't think they had much of it.
no.
Um, it just goes to show how much they miss Kundus, should I say, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Kudos.
He,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, he was always their danger man for us, and we couldn't really stop him. So they looked a bit lost today. They didn't have any ideas.
Yeah.
Um, the formation. Now, in our preview, I asked for Eze and Odegaard to start in the same team with Rice
Yeah.
number 6. He done exactly that. So I think today Arteta, we can't really have many complaints to Arteta. He went with the handbrake off. He
Yeah.
went win the game. We won the game. All right. Did we play well? I don't think we did. I think that we was moving the ball really slowly. It was a bit lethargic for me today. I was a
Yeah.
bit. I don't know about you, but I was a bit bored watching the
I would
game
say,
today.
Tone, that I think the momentum. I think it would have been a totally different game once Erdegaard started to get onto the ball and have Eze and releasing Eze in the pockets. And when you lose him after 20, 25 minutes, one thing I want to say, and I want to, you'll be overly critical. Me myself being a fan of Arteta, but listen, I don't want Arteta out, and I believe he can deliver the goods, Tone. But that's another day. What I'm saying is you can be critical as a fan of the club and a fan of Arteta. And I will be one today and say that when a player goes off, he keeps putting him back on. He keeps going, oh, listen. The reason he does is because Erdegaard is critical at times to the way we play, whether fans like that or not. He done it several times, and it's like, look, if this geezer's got a problem, we've got to realise he's got a problem. Let's stop trying to put him back on. It's not sounding good, Tone. Off air, you told me. that
Yeah.
they've said about he's in a brace. I said he was in a brace.
Arteta come out in his interview and said that he walked down the tunnel okay, but then he's left
Yeah.
the ground with a knee brace on, and he's
Mm.
not optimistic on it. So that doesn't sound
Not
good.
good.
If I'm
Not
being
good,
honest with
son.
you. Maybe it's probably a good thing that we're going on a 2 week international break. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
It's-
do you know what? I was sitting there thinking today, what if we wouldn't have bought Eze?
Exactly. It would have been. It would. You know what would have happened? It would have been. I mean, I want to say a few things as well in terms of. I don't want to be jumping the gun on anything, Tone. I thought there's a few moments where it looked a bit classy from Wanyeri in terms of the times when he could sort of like get onto the ball. I still think that the lad needs to be sort of protected as well as brought on at certain games. You know, playing against Port Vale. Um, you know, it would have been again. And what I'm waffling about is that Trossard, I reckon if you didn't have an Eze today, it would, and Erdegaard went off, you'd have like a Martinelli, a Trossard, and you'd be going around the same avenues. As I say, they're both, in my opinion, impact players. We had a discussion in our with our mate on off the chat, and I have to agree with that. That I would have put Martinelli on to start,
I would have done.
just
Yeah, a bit of
just
pace.
because obviously with Trossard a bit of pace tone. But it could have been ended up being the same thing where Trossard plays behind. The only difference is we've got an actual proper striker on the pitch. But I just think it's one of them games, and I've alluded to it in previous ones that I think Havertz, if Erdegaard wasn't fit, I think Havertz could kind of play the role where he supports Gyökeres. And I think today would have been that thing when, oh crap, we've lost Erdegaard. But and who did he bring on Wanyeri? Was it Wanyeri? Who did he bring
Yeah,
on for Erdegaard?
he
No,
bought
no,
Ranieri.
Subamendi. Sorry,
Was it? Yeah,
Tone.
sorry. Yeah, he bought
Yeah.
Ranieri on later on in the
Which
match.
I
But
want to
yeah,
say, again,
good game.
is he set Eze away, and then Eze's obviously had the crack, and then it ricocheted to Rice for the goal. He played a very good ball, but it's one of them where you have options. I mean, let's look at it this way: Erdegaard comes off, you got Subamendi. You wait till like a Havertz is back, a Madueke is back
Yeah,
to a
yeah,
lesser extent, but I still believe he's got a role to play. Like I said the other day with Jesus, um, you know, it's it's just all at the moment. You've got a team that is still what we're frustrated with last season, but that's only due to injuries, Tone. So let's wait and see. But I agree with you there, mate. I personally think the game turned a little bit when Erdegaard came off. Obviously, that is a great setup, what I've just said with Subamendi, but I think that was his way to break a low block down is playing Eza and Erdegaard in the same team. Whether you
yeah,
have Declan Rice, which he did today,
yeah. It's worked really well, by the way.
or
Yeah,
Subamendi, but he was man of the match, Tone.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
Declan Rice.
yeah,
I've got no arguments with that either.
yeah, no, that's been given. That's been given, by the way, guys, and me and Tony as well. Would just like to state we thoroughly agree with that decision as well. He was, I think, not to go too much on a tangent, Tone, but then West Ham fans were booing him. And have a look, dude. Again, when we come off air, you get a bit of time, you settle the kiddies, watch match of the day, and just try to listen to the West Ham fans because they're such a different breed. Because with Crystal Palace fans, I highly doubt they'll come to the Emirates and boo Eza. But these guys have been booing him for 2 years, even though he won them something. And they were booing him all game, and he's coming out and they're singing, with Declan Rice, we know what you are. And you think to yourself, well, do you
Yeah,
really?
he done
Because
a lot for that club.
this
Yeah,
guy stayed with you for 10, he was 10 years. He's from the youth. He won you something. He has not spoken, he's not spoken anything with it. He just wanted to come to a club and try to win the bigger stuff. He hasn't won it yet. He's still got a chance, but he hasn't done anything that them fans are doing it. He deserved that goal today, Tone. But have a look at Declan Rice when he celebrated. He didn't celebrate. He just kept looking at the West Ham fans. He has not been disrespectful to them, but he keeps getting dog's abuse. So fair play to him, and I'm
yeah,
happy he's got a man of the match, Tone.
yeah. Well deserved. Although
Yeah,
I, if I was to pick a man of the match today, I would have gone with Timber. I thought he was brilliant. He's a he was our
yeah, no,
he was our best defender and our best attacker.
he's ridiculous. He's ridiculous, Tone. the geezer's got to be wrapped up in cotton wool, mate. He's fantastic, honest to God, he really is. I love the
Yeah,
geezer. It's
no,
bad though because I love Benny White, and we all did. But it's so tough when you got Benny White and Benny White's fitness and his injuries, his body's kind of catching up. He played a
yeah,
lot of football,
he's
Tone, that
gonna
boy,
he's gonna struggle
and
to get back in the
he's
squad, isn't he?
struggling. But
Really,
you're like, Timber's got a start, Tone. You know, he's fantastic.
I don't think there's
Excuse
any
me, he's
Arsenal
fantastic.
supporter that would argue with Timber starting at right
Mm,
back, game in, game out.
yeah.
Um, the only thing I would say is, do you think there's a little bit of a connection issue between Timber and Saka compared to Ben White and Saka on the attack?
Yeah, matey. I'm glad you brought that up because that is the one thing I would say. It's Benny White and Saka. We're obviously in terms of an attacking unit, and especially with Erdegaard on that operating in the right hand side. We were really effective there. What Timber does, what I'd say is more defensive assurances. There was a time when the way he plays, and I know you again, it's one of those issues with yourself in terms of the inverted. And there's a time when he come into the midfield and he looked across, he thought, well, I've got Calafiori being a right centre midfielder. He didn't
Yeah,
have to he didn't
I
have
looked
to
at that.
invert.
I looked
You
at
know what I
that.
mean? You
I'm
know?
what the only thing with that, right? It worked today because we had the ball, but my worry would be if you've got a pacey wing on the right hand side, it only takes Calafiori to lose the ball on that right hand side because he went all the way over to the right hand side.
Tony,
One pass.
he was sorry, mate, he wasn't playing a left back today he drifted, wasn't he? He was on the right hand side, occupying the space that Erdegaard occupies. And you're thinking to yourself, you know what, though, Tone, and I think I want to say you're 100% right with what you've just said, but I just think their right side, maybe unless you were Bowen, but Bowen, if I'm not mistaken, was he more sort of like the central attacker for them?
He was on no, he was on the wing. He was on the wing. He's normally
Yeah,
yeah, he's normally play. They normally dump him through the middle at the Emirates. The last when they
yeah.
beat us the last two
It's
seasons,
it's lucky. Was he on the right hand side? I mean,
he
look,
was on the
listen.
right. He was
I
on the
did
right
we
hand side, and he was isolated.
the
We
way
done a good job
exactly
on it. But
the way we played, kind of isolated in time. But you're right, mate. It is a worry. But I just think what it is with we were having this discussion again in our group and off air about Lewis Skelly and Calafiori. But what I want to say is instead of us debating that, I just think it's a great problem to have. And I'm
yeah,
not.
let's have this debate on air then. Whoever's watching, feel free to comment on this as well. Who's the
Mm,
better player, Miles Lewis Skelly or Calafiori? Who's for you? Who would you say? Obviously, they're both fit now. Who would you
mm.
say should be starting at left back? Who offers more?
I I'm gonna until I'm blue in the face. I'm gonna say to you that I think Skelly should have a place in the middle, but of course with Rice and Subamendi, obviously potentially Erdegaard dropping back. I just think he's such an enigma, such a different kind of player, Calafiori, that if he's fit, you have to play him. But
Yeah,
Lewis Skelly should not be discounted, and this is not me disrespecting Lewis Skelly because I think that kid he's got a hell of a future. And the fact is, it is a good discussion. I will go for Calafiori, just edges it in terms of his unpredictability. But I said to you guys, and you can back me up, Tone, and so can our friend on that chat, that I'd love to see a Calafiori Skelly, how that would work. Calafiori is a fantastic left centre back, but who's our best left centre back in this squad? It's Gabriel. You know.
yeah.
And I know that you keep saying I mention it. I'm only mentioning because I he's an unknown quantity, but what I've seen of him at Bayer Leverkusen, Hincapié can also add to that left hand side. So that's why I said to you, I think obviously Skelly
I
should be
completely forgot
tried
about
out.
Nketiah. I've not, Joe, because I've not
No, but
seen him.
you
I
won't.
think
You
I can't
will
have an
exactly.
opinion on that. Yeah,
The depth we've got, Tone. But you're right.
I will.
Listen, it's a tough one because I don't want that boy to get disheartened by the fact that Calafiori is starting. I just think, obviously, for me, that back line is solid as a rock. And if you needed to play a three at the back, you can always leave Gabriel and Gabriel and Saliba can sort themselves out, Tony. They're that good a defender. But Calafiori and Timber can invert, can drop back, and that's why I'm advocate of what he played today, especially against low blocks, where Calafiori was coming in and being that player. But Lewis Skelly can also do that. It's a tough one, but look at it this way: Calafiori's like 23. What's Lewis Skelly? 18. We have got two players there that I would not bat an eyelid if either one started. It's that close. And at 18 years old, Lewis Skelly is doing things you're thinking this kid's got something. So it's different. I just think we look. Calafiori was injured for most of the season, so I just want if he's fit, Tone,
So
it's interesting. It's one to play, but you can use like he did in the week. Champions League, Lewis Skelly started Bones,
yeah.
so I still think there's room to manoeuvre, but we should really, instead of comparing, just go look. We've got some fantastic options on the left side now. My
So
worry, Tone, is the right hand side, Tone, in terms of White's fitness.
yeah.
But I
No,
think
I
he's
agree.
he's vital as well in terms of what we want to do on the right hand side.
So whilst we've been discussing this, sorry, I'll speak in a minute.
Yeah,
I've made some notes of my thoughts, right? So
yeah,
I the beauty of having a big squad, right? In certain games, it means certain things, right? So away at Fulham, I fully expect Calafiori to start left back for
yeah, yeah.
defensive. He's a big guy, defends
Mm,
really well. There's going to be a lot of crosses going in. Um, Lewis Skelly isn't quite up to scratch for me in that area.
mm,
However, if you're going to be playing at home and you've got the games against your West Hams, let's say your Fulhams at home, your Palaces, I would more likely go with MLS purely because if you're going to play that inverted role without Zinchenko in the team, he's
mm,
probably the next best person to play that role and play it more comfortably than Calafiori. Now,
mm,
I'm not saying Calafiori is a bad player and he's not good at it. I just think MLS is slightly better at
mm.
stepping into midfield and keeping the attack going. Um, but I think in the games where we're up against it and we need a back four that's solid, I think that's where you start Calafiori or Encapié.
You know,
So I think it's like I just said, it's a good headache to have. But I've
yeah.
just made that note there because when Calafiori steps into midfield, I don't know if you spotted it or feel free to debate me or argue against me on this. I don't think he looks as comfortable as MLS.
You know why? It's not. I'm not going to debate you, Tone. I'm going to say to you because I think he's what it is, and someone broke it down on X, and you're right to pick that up. What it is he's why I say he's unpredictable is because he's kind of like he's a left centre. He's a left centre. He just started off at left back. He's a left centre half, and he's roaming the pitch. Yeah. And the fact is, and what you've picked up is exactly what I'm going on about. You've said
Yeah,
what you've said. There's no argument now because Miles Lewis Skelly is a central midfielder who is playing that as a youth. He's obviously come into this Arsenal squad, filled a hole, and done an absolutely fantastic job. His only drop off came in the last couple of games when it looked a little bit ropey against, I think it's PSG. And I'm not going to hold that against the kiddie because he's played absolutely phenomenal. Calafiori's like kind of it's kind of like going into a nightclub full of women and being a shy bloke and you're like where the hell what am I going to do here? I'm surrounded by women. I can't talk to the beautiful women or whatever it may be. He goes into that midfield and you don't know what is he going to do something, is he not going to do something? While Miles Lewis Skelly finds midfield more comfortable. As I say, what I want to point out to that, and I'll pass it straight back over to you, he had a great shot, Calafiori, off the post, and I think the keeper got very lucky. He didn't bounce off his back and go into the net at
yeah,
the end of the half.
yeah.
That's the unpredictability time. But you're
No,
100%
that's fair.
right.
That's fair.
Lewis Skelly is much more comfortable because he wouldn't. I don't know if that analogy made sense to you, and I hope it did, dude. But it's just that he's that kind of bloke that's like, where am I? But he's just
Yeah,
so unpredictable that he'll find himself in spaces and you don't know what he's going to do. While Miles Lewis Skelly has trained that since he was a kid, so he knows that position, and I think that's fun. And as you said, I think Skelly should also get games as well. In games like say like a Sunderland or a Leeds, we've already played Leeds, but you know what I mean. What you've just said, I agree with that, Tone. I can't argue there, mate.
yeah. I just think we get games when we've got the ball. I just think maybe
Yeah,
he's the shout that gets the nod. But look, as I said, it's a good problem to have.
100%.
Um, so I think if you could pick your player of the match and someone that's had a stinker, who would you pick today?
Well, I can't. Yeah, as I say, like you said, if you're going to go, I'll tell you what. We'll step aside, and I'll agree with you with Timber. And I want to avoid a stinker.
It's a hard one That's why it's a
It's
good.
a it's a hard one. Again for me, I'm not going to say it's a stinker. I think with Trossard, I think he's, as I say, I will tell I'm blue in the face. Think,
It's not a
especially in
starter.
certain, he's not a starter. I also want to defend as well before I want to pass that opinion and that question revert straight back to you, Tone. I just want to say to you right now that I mean I had it on my other group chat at work, which I'm not going to go. It's just a football thing we have, and what Gyökeres is wank, blah blah blah. I just ignored it because I think Arsenal fans should as well. Um, this guy's
Yeah,
come in. He hasn't got. We discussed it off air, and I think we'll all
yeah,
agree. I think that if you had another strike partner, he at the moment he's getting attuned. There's certain things he does on the football pitch that you wouldn't necessarily say as a neutral. He hasn't scored again. Gyökeres hasn't assisted. He creates the space. He creates that space that Eze runs into and the keeper saves and Rice scores.
he
He
yeah
occupies defenders, Tone.
he worked
And
hard today. He worked hard. Sorry to
yeah,
interrupt. He worked hard today, but
no, no, no. I'm passing it back to you.
I
You
would
go, Tone.
I would say if I'm picking a stinker, it'd be out of him and Trossard, only because
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
missed.
yeah. I get that.
He got the ball, done the hard work, held the ball up, and
Yeah,
then misplaced
it's that final
a few
action.
easy
Yes,
passes.
it's that
So
final action. It's that
and
final. It's like you sitting there, Tone, and sorry to jump in again, but you're
no,
like
go for it.
Gyökeres. You're like
Yeah,
Gyökeres. Come. It's that final pass. It's like you do the hard stuff, and he lays it off to open space as opposed to the player. Whether that's
yeah,
still getting used to it, but I still believe you're going to see the best from him now in terms of being not rotational option, but having someone to relieve him as well. He doesn't seem to trust, which you guys have said on the chat, playing Martinelli up top. He doesn't seem to go. You know what?
yeah,
I'm going to take Gyökeres off, and I'm going to put Martinelli on.
yeah.
We need Havertz back, Tone. You
Yeah.
know, or
I hate saying
Hazen's
that.
got
I hate saying that. We
no,
do.
but
We
it's
miss
just
the option of
he
Havertz.
needs, yeah, he needs that break, Gyökeres, because he's played a lot. He's played a lot of football. We didn't have a pre-season, and this guy's played a lot of football. I still think there's a lot more to come from him. We just have to be patient. There's just moments where you're just thinking, oh, come on, because every Arsenal fan, unless you're a Sesko in, and properly you just want him to score, and we've got to try to relieve that pressure. Today, Tone, as well, last thing on that, and I will pass it straight back. Saka took that penalty because that was his 200th appearance, and that chance would have been his 100th goal or assist. So
Okay. Yeah, I
basically, he's
was
a
thinking
one.
that
Yeah,
because
in the Premier
Gyökeres is
League, yes, he's the
supposed to be
main
our penny
penalty
taker,
taker.
right? Yeah, I was
Yeah,
thinking that.
I
Why
just
didn't
wanted to
it?
tell you that.
No,
What do you
that's
think
good.
about that,
The
Tone?
viewers probably didn't know that either. What the penny or
What do you think? Would you think that? Would you agree with? Because obviously, I think it was pre. Someone said it might have been pre, sort of like, or don't if he's not going to get a natural chance on the pitch, a penalty's come along, and he's taken it. Which and Gyökeres ain't going to moan. He's a new player, but it also shows that Saka's like he is the talisman. He's the main man. He's been the main man for us for how long? But that's the reason I think. Personally, I wanted Gyökeres to get a goal again, but I think it will come, Tone. I think the next opportunity, give that man the ball and say, put the ball in the back of the net, get back to what you do, ignore the noise, because there's going to be constant
yeah?
noise, Tone.
I mean, he didn't have a great game today, right? But I think because he works, but the work rate from him is unreal, and he makes himself. The commentary was like he's making himself a nuisance up there, which he
Mm.
was.
Mm.
Um, I, yeah, it's a difficult one really because I don't think he's picked up a bit of form, and I think he's probably struggling a little bit with the physicality. I think
Yeah,
he's not getting any space. There was a moment where he got the ball, opened his body up to have a shot, and he had two
yeah,
players on him straight away. So I think he's struggling a little bit, if I'm being completely honest.
yeah,
Um, and I think we're not utilizing him as well. There's
no,
moments Yeri needs to stop trying so hard when he comes on. There was
yeah.
moments where I think he's got the ball. Gyökeres has dropped the shoulder and run. Release him. If I don't go
I
through
saw
to him,
that,
he needs to
Tone.
be
I
tried.
agree.
There was a few occasions where not just him, Trossard done it. Oh, cut inside, release him.
Mm.
Try and nope, carry on. Then went back. It's just that was the only thing today. We still don't know how to play with a striker, right? So I
Yeah.
wouldn't give him too much shit for today. Although his passing was awful today, he held the ball
Mm.
up. and then he'd give it away, and
He
that was quite frustrating watching that today.
100%. Did you see the? You remember the cross as well was a bit frustrating because he was a yard or two shy of the cross from Rice, and sort of like getting on the end of it, you know. Hello, my
Graham
friend.
here,
How
how
you
you
doing?
doing?
You all right there?
Good
Thanks for
evening.
joining us, bud. We're good, thank you. Hope you're
Evening,
keeping well.
Alf.
Hello, Alf. How you doing, matey? We're all good. Just digesting the game, my friend. Hope you're well.
Good win for the Spurs today.
Good win for yourselves as well. Yeah, lovely to see you, matey. Yeah, it's a tough one, Tone. As I say, another thing up at the moment they got nothing to speak. But did you see Shesko? Sorry, scored for
Yes, I
United
did.
today.
I mean, that was
So
I'm good
you're going to
fans.
have United fans start, aren't you?
Yeah. Look, he's the 2 goals he scored have been shit. Right, they've been like scrappy goals. So fuck off.
Exactly.
Like he's
Yeah,
not. They
100%,
weren't
Tone.
well beaters. Your careers will come good, right? It will come good.
Yeah.
I think it was really frustrating today. Odegaard going off injured in 20
Oh
minutes,
no,
right?
no.
The whole 90 minutes, I wanted to see them both in the same team.
Him and Eza.
I
Exactly.
reckon if them
Exactly.
two would have been fit for the whole game, I don't think they would have both played. It would probably been about 70 minutes. Would have had them both in that role, but
Yep.
I reckon Gyökeres would have scored today because they would have created more chances. The fact we had
Yeah.
to bring Zubimendi on is when we went back to the Rice and the 8. We went back to
Yeah.
the formation that we normally play, right? Them
Yeah.
two in them little pockets of space would have created more chances. I even think Saka had a quiet game of bar
Yeah.
the penalty. So do we really? The problem is he's going to get slack everywhere he goes. Sorry, he's going to get pelters from every single supporter. As soon as he don't score, oh, he's shit, right?
Yeah.
No, he's not. Look, as a striker in this day and age, you can run around for 90 minutes and not get a sod all. Well, look at Haaland,
Yep.
right? He does run around, he does move. You see them if you watch when you next game of football or watching as a neutral.
Yeah.
Watch the striker. The striker will drop the shoulder, he'll run, he'll move, he won't get the ball. Right?
No.
Watch how frustrated they get because at 9 times out of 10, they're not going to get the ball.
Yeah.
Right? Gyökeres like you're right, what you said earlier, he created the space. For that goal, he created the space. And what he's doing, he's occupying defenders, right?
Yeah.
That's knackering. When you look at him, he looks knackered.
Yeah, he does,
right?
Tone. He does, 100%.
He's not a striker doesn't always score, but don't get it twisted. When he gets an opportunity, he'll bury it. He's a good finisher.
Yeah.
But I think you got to give him a bit of credit, right? Because he's got 2 people marking him. And the way we play, still, he's being isolated. And I was actually thinking about it today, and I actually made a note of it. I don't think he's going to benefit in our system at this moment in time. This is where Arteta's got to come in. I think someone like Gyökeres will probably benefit from having another striker next to him, like a 4-4-2 formation.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever going to play that, but I don't think any striker, even Havertz, right? Havertz in that role, how many goals did he get compared to Gyökeres? That's what you got to look at. Everyone's going, "Oh, Havertz is better. We need Havertz back." Have a look at the comparisons in the stats.
Yeah.
Our formation does not allow a striker to win. So, yeah, great result, Alf.
Yeah, mate.
Buzzing about the Chelsea game being Liverpool. That was brilliant. I actually confused the missus because she doesn't watch a lot of football and she thought Arsenal planning their away kit because I was going nuts when they scored the second goal.
What I want to say to add to Tony, Alf, is that Liverpool are getting a bit of a taste of their own medicine, boy, aren't they? So, they come in, they've been scoring the goals late, and they've had a few. So it's a second season for Slot. There's a lot of different players, but yeah, it is what it is. Early days, Alf. Early days, but we'll see at the moment. But we'll take it. We'll take these kind of weekends.
Yeah,
but yeah, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate that, Alf.
Did you watch the Liverpool Chelsea game, Wayne?
Bits and pieces, Tone.
Did you see the Liverpool goal?
I've not seen it. If you run it and go on.
There's a moment in there, right? And Gary Neville, this is where he winds me up, right? Isaac sort of controlled the ball, right?
Yeah.
And he's gone to control the ball. He's miscontrolled the ball. It's gone into I forgot his name who scored the goal, but it's gone
Gakpo.
into his. There you go, thank you, mate. Gakpo. He's gone straight into
Yeah,
his path. He's buried it, right? And
yeah,
Garen's gone, oh, what a touch that was! What an assist! No, it wasn't. He miscontrolled it. He miscontrolled it. Watch it back. Watch it back when you
yeah.
get a moment.
I
He's
will do. I
literally
watched Match of the Day
blowing
for you,
smoke
Tone.
up the guy's arse.
Yeah,
Right, because it's Isaac, he's been signed for 130 million. Oh, he's laid off the best assist, and whether
yeah,
say no, he didn't. He miscontrolled it because he
yeah,
was gonna. He watched his body like he's gone to control it like he's gonna shoot, but he's completely fucked it up. But
yeah,
lucky enough, Gakpo's there to bury it. So
yeah.
yeah, but look, we'll take that. What a result! What a fantastic.
Yes,
The only thing that's now pissed me off is we're going to an international break. We're top of the league. There's momentum
yeah.
now, and then
And it gets broken up
all our players are now going to go away and play 90 minutes for their respective national teams.
twice.
And when we come back, we go again, but we're away to Fulham, which isn't going
Yeah,
to be an easy game. So
no.
we could have done without the international break. I get the World Cup's coming, but for fuck's sake, like it's
Yeah, I mean, what we'll also add to that as well, Tone, is me and you. Obviously, for anybody else wants to tune in, I mean, if there's anything we can kind of break down, me and Tony we'll kind of catch up. But obviously,
briefly, yeah,
we've got no interest in the international break. For us, we want to talk about Arsenal or whatever,
yeah.
but some that
Look,
football. But me and Tony will release some stuff. But yeah, it's boring for us,
there'll be
Tony.
another. We're doing an everything Arsenal
Yeah,
podcast
we're doing
later in the
everything
week,
Arsenal, but
and
it's
we'll
it's
discuss the
ridiculous,
season
Tone.
and
Two
how we yeah
weeks. So it's
yeah
2 weeks, Tone.
yeah.
So it's annoying. I've just, you look to the calendar. It's the 4th of October. We've now come back, and our next game's the 18th. Tone.
18th, mate, 18th.
2 weeks from that,
I feel like
Yeah, I can't
we've only
stand it,
just
mate.
got
I
back
really
from
can't.
international break. Do you know what I mean? We've only
Yeah.
not played many games. It's atrocious. This is
One
why
thing I want to
look,
add
mate,
to
this is
that.
why there's a
Sorry.
fixture pile up as well.
Exactly, and I think someone was saying that I don't know if they're saying to kind of restrict, like have a certain amount of football, say like 2 or 3 weeks, and then it reduces it, and have like say get the fixtures out of the way because I just think it's ridiculous. First and foremost, it's ridiculous about that September one. So I know it's the January transfer. I apologise, guys. The summer transfer window. I do apologise. That I'm thinking ahead, but that ends, Tone, and then we go straight off to international break, and you think to yourself, well, I want to see the new players. I want to see that. Let's
Yeah,
carry on. That
yeah,
is ridiculous. Having you've had 3 games of football and you're going straight to internationals. They need to rejig it. In terms of how they do. And I heard something saying doing like a block of it if you didn't have it in September but had a block of maybe 3 weeks in October where you had your internationals, you got the games out of the way, we would be pulling our hair out, but we would have had a whole September of football not broken up. We'd deal with the October and have maybe a little bit. It's ridiculous, Tone, having 3 international breaks before Christmas. You've got the risk now. Everyone, not us. You got Alfie's Tottenham, obviously as well. Our North London rivals, but all kinds of players. Every single team in that league that has players, you're now at risk because you've built up that
yeah,
form. You've gone into the international break in good form, and your players could come back injured.
yeah. Well,
It's ridiculous, time.
with any luck,
So.
Kundus might pick up a knock before our game. He's been on fire. Not that I'm wishing injury on any player, but
I'll
yeah,
rate him anyway. I'll rate him highly. And another one,
he's
one thing
scary.
I wanted to add, Tone, and a random one. We were at Arsenal. We were after Hato, Jurel Hato. He come from
He looked good
Ajax.
for Chelsea. Coming at
He
centre
looked
half.
very good for Chelsea when he come on, composed, solid. We have got some good players, and obviously the space for him wouldn't be there. But Chelsea, the amount of money they've spent, he's going to be a very good player for them. So. Yeah, it's just a kind of an off the cuff one because thinking. But there we
Yeah,
go. We'll obviously we'll reconvene again, matey. But yeah, good win, good day, and we got to wait 2 weeks now.
yeah. Couldn't say it better myself. I think. Do you know what? We'll start wrapping up. Yeah, top of the league. Momentum is with us. Hopefully, we can keep that going after
Yeah.
international break. Liverpool aren't looking too great at the moment, are they? I think
Three straight defeats, Tone. To
yeah,
be fair though, don't you think? Sorry, dude. Don't you think
yeah,
that's good for them? Because maybe they could regroup a bit. Do you know what I mean? Like you've got three
that's what I
straight
was just going
defeats.
to say. The international break is probably going to work for them
It's
more
going
than
to
it's
work
working
for
out
them.
for us. So
Yeah,
we
exactly.
would have gone into the Fulham game flying. So
Yep.
look, hope and pray no injuries. We get a squad back. One positive I would say, it gives our players like Havertz and Jesus to get that a little bit closer to full fitness
That's it, mate.
during that
100%.
break, right? So
Yep.
hopefully have them back for the Christmas pile up.
Yeah.
So which will come thick and fast. Look, still a lot of football to play, but look, good win today. Look, I said in our preview, there's no point beating Newcastle away at St James and then going and dropping points at home to West Ham. We didn't do
100%
that.
so.
We wasn't that great. Professional performance. Got the
Got the
win.
win.
3 points.
Yep.
That's all that matters. And
Move
also
on.
as well, we've got a 7+ goal difference versus Liverpool at the moment, which is brilliant, right? So we're doing what we need to do. So So guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for the messages as well, guys. We appreciate it.
Lovely, we appreciate it. Wishing you a lovely Saturday evening and the rest of your weekend. That's it from us, guys. We're out of here. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Take care of yourself. Have a good evening.